All right, you need to be very careful because this is the most important video you're going to see about ClawdBot. And if you ignore what's in this video, you will run in a lot of trouble. Okay, this is not a clickbait. I'm going to give it to you straight. So first of all, here's the thing. The thing is, if you install ClawdBot without watching this video up until the end, this is not designed for views or anything. I'll give you my honest take on it. You will end up in a lot of trouble. All right, and I will explain why. It's very logic. At the end, just hear me out. At the end, you can make the decision. So you all heard about ClawdBot. Is everywhere on the internet, and everybody's going crazy with it. Okay. And here's the thing. I am not a security expert. I'm not a lawyer. But I'm basically going to tell you about business. I'm a businessman, and I'm going to show you how, because of business reasons, you need to be very careful. So we are here on the website of ClawdBot, which is called MaltBot, and we're going to actually come back to this in a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the exact same thing that other people have showed you, but we're going to look at it from a different perspective. So let's say, for example, you have seen all these trends, right? So the trends showing you how ClawdBot has overtaken Claude Code, okay? And your people tell you, man, it's awesome. That's why you need to jump on it. Now, I want you to look at this from a business perspective. What does that mean? If you are this blue line here, what does this mean? It means competition, okay? And nobody likes competition, all right? You don't like competition, Claude doesn't like competition. And if you know about ClawdBot, trust me, they do know about ClawdBot as well. Now, from a business perspective, look at this. How much money do you think this blue line has spent to create ClawdCode? Billions of dollars. And now there is someone coming out of absolutely nowhere, overtaking them with like a thousandth of the money that they've spent. How do you think they feel about it? They're probably not going to like it, and you were probably not going to like it. So my thing is, just from a business perspective, and you will see where this thing is going, is would you let that slide? Right? Would you let that slide? I personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't let them do this. Okay? So now they are on Claude's radar. Okay? And remember I told you that we're on the website here, right? Well, why is it not called ClawdBot? Well, it was called ClawdBot until yesterday, and they changed name. Now, you might be like, oh, they changed name because... No. You know why they changed name? Because they received something called a cease or desist letter, which is basically a cease and desist letter. Is usually what a huge company will send you, and it basically says, stop this, otherwise we're going to send you an army and a horde of lawyers who are going to bury the hell out of you until your descendants in 10 generations will have to pay. So that means when you send a cease or desist letter to someone, they are on your radar. It is just that simple. And it just makes business sense. There's too much money at stake. They're not going to let someone come and take their stuff. Now, why did they send the cease and desist letter? Well, the name was too similar. Okay? And the problem is this. It's not just the name is similar. Is that when you hear this ClawdBot, you might think that it's actually Claude creating this. Okay? That's the first thing. There's confusion here, which you're basically borrowing the name, and it gives you immediate trust. Now, the other problem is if we look at YouTube, right? There are, for example, there's this video here that says, oh, I tested ClawdBot versus Claude Code. And this is what people are doing right now. They're basically putting one against the other, which again, as I said, from a business perspective, now you have a competitor that has spent like a millionth of what you have spent. All right. And now here's the thing. Here's the question that I have for you now is if we go back to our graph, right? Would you let this competitor grow, but grow using your resources? That is the problem. This is where I told you, you need to watch this video. What do I mean by your resources? Now, the reason why I told you do not watch other tutorials is because I've seen a lot of tutorials, and guess what people ask you to do? Oh, when you have to select the model, just select your existing Claude subscription. Now, my question to you is, you are a company, you invested billions of dollars. Would you let your competitor overtake you using your resources? I don't think so. So if you go and you do what people tell you to do in there, there's too much money at stake. They are not gonna let you do this. It's just that simple. It is the ultimate insult that the competitor basically gave you the opportunity to use you to basically fund their business and make it viral, right? Because here's the thing. The thing is, there's too much at stake for Claude. And one thing in business that you have to understand is adoption, mass adoption. Okay, the easier, the cheaper, the faster it is for someone to something to do, then the faster is going to be adopted. What is the adoption of ClawdBot right now? Is you don't need to spend a single dime extra. Just connect it to your existing Claude. How hard is it for someone to switch? Especially if everybody's talking about it, it sounds like Claude, and it does things that supposedly Claude cannot do. You don't have to spend any money. What do you think is going to happen? People are going to adopt it, and they're not going to let you do this. So there's no friction, there's no barrier, and they want to actually, Claude is in their interest to have a barrier. It has to cost money, okay? And that's the reason why. What I'm telling you is, when you watch these tutorials of people telling you, oh, just put your existing Claude Max, don't do it. Don't. Like, if you want to use Claude Opus, pay for the API. At least you're safe. Yes, it's going to cost you. It sucks. You could have it for free, I'll say, but, temporarily. And I'm going to explain what happened to me, specifically, not with Claude, but with other stuff. So that's the reason why I'm telling you this stuff. But you have to understand, Claude is not going to let you do this. And Claude is not going to let you do this regardless how big you are or how big you think you are. You might be like, man, you know what? I have 200,000 subscribers. They cannot suspend my account. Dude, your 200,000 subscribers is nothing in compared to the billions of dollars that they're going to lose if you keep telling everybody to go out and play with the competitors for free. They are not going to let you do this. So if you follow the advice of those people, now again, I don't have any proof of this because I'm not a lawyer. Again, I'm not here talking to you about cybersecurity and stuff, which a lot of people can talk about. I'm just telling you from a business perspective. Everything that I told you so far, does that make sense? Right? And just put yourself in the shoes of Anthropic. Would you allow your competitor, who basically overtook you in all the charts, to basically grow on your, like, using your network? I wouldn't do that. Would you? All right. So that's the thing. The thing is, now you might be like, oh well, I'm too big for them to get rid of me, dude. No, they will. All right. And here's, I want you to understand something. You might be like, oh yeah, but what's the big deal? Maybe I just lose my account. Now, this is where I want you to realize something. What is the reason why you're using Claude or Claude Code? Why? What is the reason? It's because this thing is smart. It is smart. It is sophisticated. It is like super safe and stuff, right? That's the reason why you're using it in the first place. Now, do you imagine having to fight that machine? You probably don't want that. So for anybody here who had to deal with Facebook, your ad account gets suspended. Do you remember all the hoops that you had to jump through to get another account? You literally have to buy another machine that has never been connected to your Facebook account. You need to connect from a location that they've never seen you connected from. You need to get a new bank account. You need to get a new card. You need to, like, all sorts of crazy things that people had to do to get another Facebook account. What do you think is going to happen when you're dealing against the freaking AI who can fingerprint the hell out of you? Do you think that you'll be like, let me change email address and then I'm going to get another account? No, I don't think you will. It's not gonna work out really, like it's not gonna work out, my friend. So now why am I telling you this? I had the same issue with OpenAI. One day I hear, oh, my ChatGPT account is suspended. I have absolutely no idea why. Try to contact them, nobody replied. Now, all the prompts that I had, all the projects that I had, everything that I had in there, gone overnight. Did you save? Did you back up all the conversations, all the prompt, all the projects and stuff that you have? If Claude is at the center of your business and you use it every day, just like me, I use Claude for everything, okay? If it's at the center of the business, do you want to take that risk? Because it could be gone. So now, I don't know, when they suspend you, do they just suspend your Claude Code or they just suspend the hell out of everything? You cannot use the API, you cannot use the web one, you cannot use Claude Code. Is it worth it? For me, in my case, it's not. And I've seen, dude, I've been on the wrong side of the Facebook thing to create ad accounts, which is a nightmare. Now you have to ask your family and stuff like this. I have had the same problem with OpenAI. Until this day, I have absolutely no idea what I did. You are dealing with artificial intelligence that you're actually going to because it's that smart. Do you really want to have that artificial intelligence as an enemy? Probably not. Okay? So what I'm saying here is I'm not saying do not install ClawdBot. I'm not technical enough to tell you, oh, it's good, it's bad, if this is that. No, I'm not, right? What I'm telling you is this. From a business perspective, we just had a chat here. From a business perspective, I want you to understand why they're not going to let you do this. And it's not a maybe, blah, blah. It just makes sense. There's too much money at stake. They're not going to let you help the competitor. They're not. So next time you watch the tutorials, you have many options, okay? So there are options. So if you want to use Opus, I suggest you just pay for the API. Just pay for the API. At least you're safe. It sucks. At least you're safe, okay? But we don't know how long you're going to have to do this because, again, they've seen the hype around this stuff. They're probably going to build their own very quickly. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's already in the pipe, but now it's just going to be accelerated. Like, first to market is very important. So now that they've seen ClawdBot, they're probably going to release their own, and then you'll be able to use that one safely. Okay, so just pay for the freaking API for the time being, and just wait for Claude to come up with their own. This is what I will do. Okay, or depending on what you want to do, you can use some of these other models. Like you can use, if you're technical enough, that you can use like open source models that you can, download on the machine or something. They're not as good as Opus. Or there's one called Minimax. I had never heard of it. But so you could choose what are the tasks that you need that AI to do. If those tasks are not super highly complicated that require reasoning, it's just like, oh, please send me in the morning something about my calendar. You don't need Opus to do this. Just use the Minimax or something, and then you're safe. Because AI moves very fast. Okay, it could be that next week. Anthropic will come out with their own version of ClawdBot, and you just had to wait a week. Whereas if you try and be smart today, you're going to be banned, and you're going to be banned for life. So that when this thing comes, now you're screwed. Okay? So that is the reason why. And again, this video is not for it's not for the views. It's not for the. I'm being very, very honest with you guys. I've seen all the videos. I've seen some people who are honest enough to tell you that this is against the terms of service, okay? But then did I read the terms of service to tell you word for word, why? No, I did not. I'm, again, talking to you from a business perspective. From a business perspective, dude, they're not going to let you do this. It's just that simple, okay? So yeah, that's me, okay? That's it. So next time you watch a video and someone tells you, oh, use your Anthropic thingy, please don't, right? Otherwise, you're going to wake up with your account suspended, and I don't know exactly what's going to happen to you afterwards. You might not be able to use any of their current products and future products. It really sucks. When you're banned from a network, it sucks because you cannot use what is here today, but in 5 years they might come up with the absolute best service that you always dreamt of, and then now you're banned. Okay, so that's it, guys. Hopefully it's gonna help some of you guys, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comment. You know, there's going to be a lot of haters and stuff like, oh, who do you think you are, blah, 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 etc. I'm a guy who's trying to help you not get suspended. That's who I am, okay? Now, if it was helpful for you guys, and, you know, it's a different perspective from what you've seen people who show you how to install it. They give you an affiliate link so that you go get a VPS, people who tell you to go buy some Mac or something, or, you know, stuff like that. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to give you like an honest perspective that probably you haven't seen in the other videos, and hopefully that helped, okay? That is pretty much it for me. I will see you in the next video, guys, and you have a good one. Bye.